for this wonderful introduction. Yes, the meditation for me has been a rebirth, and I'm sure many can resonate, senior masters here. But what truly helped and made me stick to this path essentially is recognizing that we are not our limited self. So limitations we put based on our conditions, our what we live, what our past experiences. But recognizing that there is unlimited potential in us, and it is a journey that we continue to. When you say unlimited, then there is no end to it. So for us to continue in this path is to truly experience that unlimited self. So that helped me recognize that this path is something that can always stick to. Meditation is not just to solve one problem. I don't know many of you here. If some of you may be here because you have some challenges, you want to solve that problem. Which meditation will help? Meditation is much beyond it. Meditation is truly to help become that infinite self, and as this program suggests, to elevate our living. We are looking to be the best version of ourselves, and meditation is helping us to do it. So when you speak about reprogramming our mind, so what is mind? Before meditation, I used to struggle with many things, and I would always blame either the conditions around me, my parents, or the company that I was working, my peers, my boss. They're not doing this. This is what is happening, and that's why I'm going through these challenges. The pollen, the dust allergies is causing my bronchitis. Work pressure is causing my migraine. So for every challenge that I would always look at what is causing outside. And when I came into meditation in 2020, I did this 40-day program. And in those 40 days, the only thing that I realized, and I'll say it's the only thing, because that's the most important thing, is that I knew very little of what I was living. I knew very, very little. Till then, I used to think that I've done many things, I've achieved so many things, I've traveled all over the world. But I realized the way I was living was the most inefficient way or the most limited way. For example, I wanted to become an entrepreneur, but then I had made, because my previous attempts had failed, I'd resigned to the fact that, or resigned to thinking that this is not for me. But that 40 days of practice helped me realize we create our reality. It's not somebody else. So, and that is the journey of meditation, to find our way where we remove all our limitations, recognize what is our limitation, and then overcome that, because meditation is an experiential practice. It's not something that, it's not a theory that we learn. So this concept of reprogramming our limiting beliefs, we start by first understanding what is mind. So I'll just share a few slides. I hope I can share.
You should be, sir, because you're co-host. So
Okay. So just share a few slides just to kind of recognizing what is this mind, because everything that we experience in this physical life is through our mind, right? So the research says we have about 50 to 60,000 thoughts every day. Thoughts are a way where we, experience or act out our life here, right? Everything that we do starts with some thought. Now, research shows that our mind is restless because there is 50 to 60,000 thoughts, which are mostly negative and repetitive. Negative and repetitive. We talk about some interaction with a boss at work, something that we don't like. Now, it doesn't end with that meeting. You come out, you start reliving it. Why did he or she say that? Why did why did they point out a mistake in me? What did I do? They don't like me. Are they biased towards me? Am I not good enough? You do relive that, and then you start exploring everything around it. Start making a lot of assumptions about it. So our experience doesn't end with that interaction. It continues forever. And that is why we call it as repetitive and negative, mostly negative. The second aspect of it is that our mind is limited by our beliefs and perceptions about ourselves and about things around us. And somebody tells, how that, why don't you take this up? The first thing that comes, if it's not in your comfort zone, something that you have not done before, is that maybe it's not possible for me. I don't know. I don't think so. All these things come. I mean, just reflect on what is the first thought that comes when something new is asked of you, right? And it's nothing to be ashamed of. We're just recognizing what we are, right? What is that mind is, not we are. What is that mind is? So there's two things that stops us from being the best version of ourselves is that restless aspect of our mind and the limiting aspect. So how do we change it? What is it that we do? Right? Again, just understand a little bit of our brain so that we bring it a little scientific aspect of it, right? So our brain has two parts, or I would say three, but let's limit to two parts. The conscious mind, which is essentially the big part of our brain, where we are experiencing everything through hearing, seeing, touching, our decision-making ability, all of it is the conscious mind, right? But a lot of our thoughts are, conscious thoughts are coming, right? Now, the second aspect of it, through which we live 90% of our life, is called the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is where a lot of our past experiences, everything that is there, the emotions, the long-term memory. This, if you look at this, this is the amygdala part of it, and this is a long-term memory portion, right? Now, these two form part of our subconscious mind. Everything that we experience, either from the childhood or wherever, right? Something that deeply affected us, something that we connected with deep emotions, gets stored. Now, everything that we do today, 90% of it is driven by this subconscious mind. 90% of what we do, the way we act, for example, the way you react to your boss or to your peers when something, they confront you with something, suddenly your past experiences shows up and says, the interaction, this, if they had, always, or a few times if they had said something against you or rejected your ideas, suddenly you would have formed a belief and said that, hey, no, this is not, this person is always against me. That is a belief that you have formed. So the next time they provide some feedback, even before they provide the feedback, your subconscious is telling you they are going to tell you something against you. So you've already formed your sentences, formed your reactions to based on what you have experienced in the past. And that doesn't work. I mean, that it's not, you don't need to be conscious about it. It happens. So our subconscious mind is always driving what we are acting on. So if subconscious mind is acting based on our past experiences, past beliefs, and 90% of what we live is based on what our subconscious mind is. For us to change our reality, the first thing I said, our thoughts create our reality. If I am responsible for my reality, that means my thoughts and feelings are creating my reality. So if I have to change my reality, if I want to become unlimited, if I want to do everything that I want to experience in this life, I have to change my beliefs. I have to change my thoughts. The beliefs that we driving our everyday life is where we have to examine and change. And that is where, friends, meditation combined with wisdom is helping. Let's understand this a bit more. So our conscious mind, as I said, is about everything that we see, hear, senses, that is ability to learn through all our senses, our ability to visualize, ability to reason, our decision making, all these are done through our conscious mind. When something is to be done, you take a conscious decision, it happens in the conscious mind or the neocortex part of the brain. But our subconscious mind, which is the 90% of it, is our behaviors, attitudes, beliefs, and habits, right? The perceptions that we have about what others are thinking about you, what others are doing. Beliefs like, I need 8 hours of sleep. When somebody criticizes, if your core belief says that I'm not good enough, then you won't take a next step forward. So now, if we have to change our belief, the first thing is to drop our analytical mind. Analytical mind is something that is always questioning the information that you're receiving. For example, now if I say 8 hours of sleep is not required, if your belief is so strong based on everything that you have read, listened to, people in authority saying, belief is so strong, the analytical mind will first shut off and say, this person doesn't know anything, let me stop listening to him. Because the analytical mind is processing that information based on the beliefs that you are carrying. So meditation, what does it do? Meditation first calms that analytical mind. We use analytical mind where is needed, not unnecessarily. Meditation first helps us to calm our analytical mind. That is that calming of thoughts, that unnecessary chatter that stops us from receiving the information. So for one, it calms that analytical mind so that we can access our subconscious mind. For us to change our beliefs, first we have to access our subconscious mind. And meditation helps us to do that. helps us to examine what is there in the subconscious mind. What are the beliefs that I'm carrying? In fact, my biggest win in first few months of my practice is to overcome the fear of questioning my own beliefs. If something, any statement that clearly jitters, a lot of times we have so much of strong beliefs of certain things. Anything that creates a jitter in you, saying this is not right, and this feels uncomfortable. You have to ask yourself and ask that question: where is that belief coming from? Is it true? We examine whether that belief is true. So meditation helps us to do that, because the moment you start examining and then you recognize whether it is limiting or not, beliefs are neither good or bad. Beliefs are neither positive or negative. Anything that stops you from experiencing your life that you want, or you want to experience, you desire, is limiting you. For example, the belief that if you step out in rain, if you become wet, then you'll catch cold. It's a belief. There's nothing right or wrong about it. But you have a desire. You want to enjoy the outdoors. You want to go on a trek. You want to go outdoors. And suddenly you start worrying because, okay, if it rains, then I have to carry all of this, and I have to look at around the weather, spend time, and then you fear I don't have enough protection, because that belief is stopping you from doing things. So that's the moment you want to examine if that belief is supporting you or not, right? This is an example, right? Again, how the beliefs are formed. We have this Zen story of a cat which is tied. There's a ashram. I don't know if there's a retreat center where there is a teacher who's teaching outdoors, monastery, and students are learning. And one fine day, there is a cat that comes and disturbs the class. It happens one day, it happens 2 days, it happens 3 days. Now the teacher says to the students, this cat is always disturbing. Why don't you tie the cat to the tree so that it doesn't disturb the class? So students tie it to the tree, and they release it after the end of the class. And again, next day when it comes, they tie the cat, and this goes on, and they release it. And some fine day, there's a smart student who thinks, why do we have to release anyway? It comes every day. Let's tie the cat to the tree. So the cat gets tied to the tree forever. And the class gets over. I mean, the students move away, and there's a fresh batch of students come in. They see the cat. They don't know why it is, but it's there. And one fine day, that cat dies. So what do the students do? They see the cat is died, so they bring another cat and tie it. So it may be a funny story, but the point here is students have formed a belief that that cat is there, should be there when the class is going on. They don't even know. They made a lot of assumptions. They made a lot of perceptions about why the cat is there. Though the original reason why the cat was tied because it was disturbing, the cat dies, of course, that disturbance would go away. But these students don't know. They have formed their own belief. They have based on some assumptions. So friends, we form beliefs like this. based on a lot of assumptions, a lot of perceptions that we have. So that's what is we call as personality. Personality is something that we get conditioned based on our life's experiences. Everything that we form as we go through our childhood, we listen to our parents, then we listen to our teachers, colleagues. We see some things, we start making a meaning out of whatever that we are seeing and create a belief for ourselves. So personality is essential, and studies and the psychology, this students would know. At the age of 30, 35, there is a personality is fully formed. And later people will say, I cannot change, because they've all formed all the beliefs that they feel is required for their life. So these core beliefs, depending on the environment that you have lived, for some, the environment has helped them to be unlimited. So you feel, many people taking up a lot more newer initiatives, newer things. But for many, based on the conditions, I know I've come from a rural background. I've come from a place where I didn't know English properly. Some other beliefs like men have to work hard. I mean, these are quite societal beliefs that we have found, because many people have said that women have disadvantage in society. People might say, hey, no, this is true. But that's a belief that we form. It's not just what is there, but it's also what we believe that we carry, that it is permanent. So, friends, our beliefs are formed based on our conditioning in our day-to-day life. The meaning that we give for everything. When somebody says, you are no good, if you give a meaning that, or you can't do this, let's say somebody tells you, hey, you can't do this. Now, if a meaning that I give to that is that, okay, so I am weak, I cannot, I don't have the ability. If that's a meaning you give, and that is a belief that you're forming. However, if you give a different meaning, instead say, okay, so maybe I can't do it now, but maybe I have to learn something new. I'd like to do this, so let me learn. So if that is the meaning that you give, then of course you are moving beyond that belief, right? So to change our personality, first we have to change that belief, and then we change our outer reality, right? And again, I'd like to talk about some of these, how our beliefs are formed, and we have to examine this on a day-to-day basis. The expectations that we have, the assumptions that we make, the story that I spoke earlier. In our day-to-day, we make a lot of assumptions. There's, a big change in the economy. The economy is bad. You see a lot of stories. Suddenly you start assuming that, okay, my job is at risk. It's an automatic assumption. We give a lot of, we conclude a lot of things just because somebody said this area, there is a lot of, uh, you know, infection, whatever, right? Some things that, people are going through certain things. Suddenly you see, okay, I am affected. You conclude unnecessarily. We give a lot of opinions of things we don't even know. When you give an opinion, then you are actually creating a belief within yourself. Things that probably don't even affect you, you start giving opinion, and then you start creating that belief. So you examine all these. What are the expectations I have? You start forming expectations about your child. The child should be like this. My son or daughter should be like this. Parents should behave like this. The fellow colleagues should behave like this. They should act like this. They should be, forthcoming. They should help me. A lot of expectations that we have. Now, when they don't act based on your expectations, then you start a belief. You create a belief that they are against you or many other things. So we examine all these and how our beliefs are formed, so that we recognize that these are the beliefs that we have created and we can change it too. So friends, I'll just close this, right? Again, it's important that once we recognize that our beliefs are formed this way, there is also an opportunity and a way for us to change it. Meditation is the answer for that. Meditation brings first significant awareness of the present moment. We disconnect from our past. All our beliefs are coming from our past experiences. Now, meditation is first helping us to disengage from our past and become fully present. The moment we do that, the first step is done. So we start recognizing what is the present moment. Everything, we start understanding our thoughts, our emotions in the present moment. Now, the next step is for us to change those beliefs that we have already formed. 90% of what we are doing is based on our subconscious beliefs. That beliefs to reprogram, first, the meditation helps us to become aware of those limiting beliefs. And changing that limiting beliefs happens when we increase our understanding, increasing our understanding by reading books, right wisdom. Attending this program, an amazing opportunity for 111 days of meditation and wisdom, gaining new things, opening to be open to listen to that wisdom and experiment for yourself. You don't have to believe everything that the masters say or the fellow meditators say, but you be open to listen to it and see, experiment for yourself. Can it work for me? And then, of course, the moment you recognize there are limiting beliefs that is stopping me from moving forward, we create affirming beliefs so that you change your beliefs, so that the beliefs that you program for yourself supports your desires or what you want to do. Right? So friends, I'd like to end this and we'll come back for a Q&A. Let's go into meditation now.